Hey guys, Jordan here, and today's video module is called Filling the Gap. And this is honestly probably one of the most important modules because if you go through this program and you see that you're not getting results or you see that you're absolutely killing it, this is the video module that's going to tell you exactly why. I have a bunch of students all learning the same exact thing. Some of them absolutely kill it and get results immediately. And some of them may not get results after months and months or none at all. And this is going to explain that exactly. And if you're not getting the results that you want as you go through the rest of the program and put in the work, this is going to help you fill that gap and get the results that you want so you can build your dream wedding photography business. So before even moving on to any of the other modules where we talk more on some of the business tactics and stuff, you're going to want to absorb everything that you learn from this. So the first thing we're going to talk about are the two types of entrepreneurs there are, so you can see why you are or aren't getting results as you move through this program. We're going to talk about the secret gap successful entrepreneurs fill to conquer their goals. We're going to talk about how to fully develop ourselves to build our dream business. And I highly recommend not skipping this video module if you're feeling anxious and you just want to get into some of the tactics. And the reason why I say that is because if you go through the training and you're one of those people who find that you're not getting the results that you want from these strategies and tactics, it's because you skipped this video, honestly. Or if you didn't skip this video, it's because you didn't apply what you're going to learn today from this. So, filling the gap. Why do we have photographers who know these different strategies and tactics for their business, but they're not getting the results that they want? And the first thing we need to jump into is we need to realize that there are two types of entrepreneurs. So there's type 1. They learn the tactics needed, they learn the strategies and all that kind of stuff, and they absolutely kill it. They take action fast, they get projects done fast, and they start building leads and clientele in record time. I have students who are able to get results even faster than me when I first started using these strategies and tactics in my business. And these types of students are the ones where nothing gets in their way. Their work schedule doesn't get in their way. Their friends don't get in their way. Drama doesn't get in their way. And they just get shit done. And then there's type 2, the second entrepreneur. They're learning the exact same tactics as entrepreneur number 1, but they're not getting results in their business. And this is why. If it's a hard or long project, it may actually never get done. Sometimes they actually never complete finishing what needs to be learned to fully get the potential of these strategies and tactics for their business. Oftentimes there's no action taken, or action is just incredibly slow. What should have taken weeks takes months, or just never gets done. And when they don't see results, they blame the tactics instead of taking responsibility for lazy effort, and they're off to the next shiny object. And I often call these people wantrepreneurs because they're people who want to take their business to the next level. They want to go maybe from part-time to full-time. They want to take their hobby into a full-time thriving financially business. But they often see business tactics as magic pills. They aren't really willing to put in the long, hard work that it really takes to make a financially thriving business. And they're not really willing to make the hard sacrifice it really takes to become a successful entrepreneur. So mentioning these two types of entrepreneurs I see may excite you or it may offend you. But the reason why I know this was because when I first got started in my wedding photography business, I was a wantrepreneur. I learned from business mentors from all different fields. But honestly, I did a lazy ass job. After a month, if I didn't get the results that I was hoping for in what my mentors were telling me, I moved on to the next shiny object that I thought would fix my business or strategy, or I moved on to the next tactic or strategy that I thought was easier. And I was always looking for the easy way out to grow my business. And what I found is after years of doing this and not getting the results that I desired in my business year after year, I realized that the issue wasn't the strategies and the tactics that I learned that my mentors were teaching me. The issue was me. And there was a time where this really hit home hard because I was so frustrated that I wasn't making the money that I needed to survive. I was so frustrated that clients weren't reaching out to me and I felt like I wasn't getting any leads. And I actually had a mentor tell this to me. And at first I didn't want to listen to him because it hurt, My ego didn't want to listen to the truth. But he told me, if you want to evolve your business, Jordan, you first have to evolve yourself. Because the person that you are right now will never get the business that you desire. And at first I was angry when he told me that, but he was 150% right. Let me visually show you this and demonstrate why he was right. I have my current situation that I was in, or you have your current situation that you're currently in right now. Maybe that's being the poor, struggling artist, and you don't have the wedding photography career that you want. And then we have our desired situation, and that's having a financially thriving wedding photography business. Maybe that's getting to a point where you can charge $3,000 to $5,000 per wedding, doing high-end weddings, flying out for weddings all over the world. And then we look back at our current situation and our desired situation. But along with our current situation in our business and our desired situation in our business, we also have next to each circle who we are next to our current situation and who we need to be in our desired situation. So in our current situation of not having the business that we want, there's a character of who we are right now next to that. And then we look at our dream wedding photography business and all this money that we're making from our wedding photography business. And then there's a whole new person next to that on who we need to become to be able to make that possible. And let's go even further into this. We have this gap, this really long gap. And it's not just getting from one business situation to your desired business situation and life situation, but it's also a gap between who you are right now and who you need to be. So getting rid of all those other objects right there, we have the gap between who we are and our dream business. And I'm going to get really personal for you for a second. When I was struggling in my wedding photography business, right here on the top is exactly who I was. I was distracted, always on my phone, never really working, always jumping onto different things instead of focusing on my business. I had shiny object syndrome. If I didn't get the results from a certain strategy or tactic that a mentor taught me, I got frustrated at them, or I got frustrated on the tactics, and I tried moving on to something else, and I would do this every single month. And because of that, I never got anywhere. I'd move on to the next shiny object if I thought it was easier. So instead of building the wedding lead machine that I should have been doing, I'd maybe just focus on posting pretty pictures on Instagram, which grows your business slowly, to be completely honest. I procrastinated. The harder the job was, even if I knew in the long term this is what would totally transform my business around, if it was too hard, I procrastinated. And a project that should have taken a week or even a couple days, if I actually focused, would sometimes take months. I was also addicted to video games, and instead of being laser focused on my work, oftentimes I'd get distracted with Netflix or playing video games for a couple hours. And I always let friends disrupt my work schedule. When I actually would finally get down to jumping on a bigger project, I'd get a text from a friend and I'd be at lunch with them for a couple hours. I was also a know-it-all. Sometimes I thought that I knew more than my mentors, and I wasn't always willing to learn from what they had to tell me. I was content. Sometimes I was just content as being the poor artist, not really wanting more for myself or more for my business. I was also easily discouraged. And if I got rejected by a client at a sales meeting, or if I didn't get the results that I wanted in my business right away, I'd often give up. And that's why I was always on to the next shiny object. And this also made me lose passion very often in the early stages of my business. And like I said, I only did the easy work. Even when I started learning more about Facebook ads and creating funnels to bring in tons of brides to my business, and when I really got down to it and realized how much work it takes to actually do this really well, I wouldn't do it. And I would stick to the easy stuff, posting pictures on Instagram and using hashtags, even though not many brides were really even seeing my work. And that's why my business was growing so slowly. That's why so many photographers' businesses grow incredibly slowly. I also had a lack of discipline. If I didn't feel motivated, I didn't feel like working, or if I didn't feel happy, I didn't put in the work that I needed to do. And I was also always focused on now instead of really paying attention to the work that needed to be done for my long-term future. And that's why I only focused on the easy jobs that made me feel good at the moment. And because this is the person that I was, I had a crappy business, my current situation. And when I had a mentor who really brought this up to me and just really told me all the things that is wrong with me, even though I didn't want to listen to him, in the bottom of my heart, I knew he was absolutely right. I started really paying attention to the dream business that I wanted to create, and really seeing that before I even created that business, I had to transform every single one of those faults that I had just listed. And before I built the dream business where couples are paying me $3,000 to $5,000, they're flying me all over the United States, and I'm able to fill my wedding seasons and work with my dream clients, I had to become this, laser focused. I couldn't be distracted by the everyday things that got in front of my work. I had to be laser focused on growing my business, no matter how hard the projects were. I had to be focused on one thing, instead of having shiny object syndrome where 1 month I'm focused on Facebook ads and I don't get the results that I want. 1 month I'm focused on Instagram and I don't get the results that I want. So I jump onto the next shiny object. I need to be laser focused on one thing. What are the few tactics that are going to bring me more leads than any other tactic or strategy? Then how can I nurture those leads and close those leads as clients? And when I stopped getting shiny object syndrome and focused on this one thing, it changed everything. I needed to become an action taker. Instead of procrastinating, waiting days, weeks, and months to finish projects, I needed to start projects and finish projects quickly. Instead of being addicted to video games, I became addicted to work and progress in my work and my business. Instead of friends disrupting me from my work schedule, I protected my work schedule like a hawk. I say no to my friends all the time. Sometimes it frustrates them, but if you want results in your business, you have to protect your time. Instead of being a know-it-all like I was before, I'm always a student learning. I'm always learning from other people on how I can grow my business even faster. Instead of losing passion, every day I'm hungry. Instead of being easily discouraged when I get rejected by a client, I never let myself get discouraged. Instead of just focusing on Instagram and posting pretty pictures and hashtags, which is considered the easy work that all photographers are doing but grows their business slowly, I'm tackling the tough jobs. And though they're not as fun, I know in the long haul, it's going to help me totally dominate my competition. And that's when I started creating the wedding lead machine that you guys will be building as well. Instead of waiting for motivation and having a lack of discipline, I made sure I was disciplined for the long haul. And instead of being focused just on now, I'm focused also on the future. And that way I can create goals and create projects that bring me further in the future and help me dominate my competition. And it wasn't until I changed all of these things that I was able to build the business of my dreams. A lot of people think that first they build the business of their dreams and then they become this. But you have to develop this in yourself before you ever build the business of your dreams. And when you pay attention to this whole picture right here, a lot of people think that they have business problems. But when we look at this and realize that we can't have our dream business without being a whole new character, we realize that it is who we are right now that is keeping us from crossing that gap. It's not business problems, but personal problems that affect your business. And when you realize that, instead of blaming your business problems on everything else, you can take full responsibility for your business and therefore get the results that you want. Now the question, how do we close this gap? How do we close this gap that we see right here so we can be who we need to be and get the business that we need to create? Well, first off, it takes to admitting ourselves where our faults are. And if you're listening to this and you're actually getting angry, then it's actually showing you more about yourself. Because I remember when my mentor told me all those things and told me that I wasn't the person that I needed to be to build my dream business. I actually got angry at him. And that just showed how insecure that I was. Once we can look at the list or create our own list of where our faults are and admit that is something that we really need to change, that is when we can start making leaps in our business and in ourselves. So how do we fill this gap? Building self-discipline in those areas and loving delayed gratification. Self-discipline is basically loving delayed gratification. And that's why so many wedding photographers are failing in their business. They're focused on the tactics that give them instant gratification now, like social media. Busy posting their pictures with the hashtags, getting the likes, getting instant gratification, but they're actually not having a whole lot of brides following them. But when you learn to love delayed gratification, put in the work with the hard stuff, and even though it may not be fun now, you know the potential that it's going to bring hundreds of brides to your business every single month. When you build self-discipline in that, because you love delayed gratification, that's when you're going to improve exponentially. So now we're going to talk about developing self-discipline in each and every aspect. And don't skip this part, because if you're lacking in one of these things, it's going to hurt your business in the long run. So let's go through each of these, be honest with ourselves on where you are in each of these aspects, so we can fill in that gap and build the business of our dreams. So developing self-discipline, resist impulses, resist all the urges to eat and drink, grab those treats, buy something, or check social media. I can't even tell you how much time photographers waste on social media when they could be growing their business. This is a really important one here. Love the pain. Every day, take yourself to dark places, confront difficulties, feel the pain, and love it. And when you master this, you'll master getting the work that needs to be done in your business. Because instead of focusing on the easy projects that give you instant gratification now but grow your business slowly, you can take a larger look at your business. See what's going to grow your business exponentially. Building the wedding lead machine into your business. And even though it's difficult to learn and build the quality necessary in the wedding lead machine, once you learn to love the pain in this kind of work, that's when you're going to see a lot of results. You're going to start taking action and doing the things that you need to get done much faster. Also, exercise. Work out first thing in the morning every day, whether or not you want to, and love the burn. And I know exercise has nothing to do with business, but more than just building your body, it strengthens your mind. And every single morning that I'm working out and I'm absolutely in agony, I honestly think about my business. I think about the work that needs to be put in, how hard some of these projects are, and tackling it, conquering it. So exercising first thing in the morning won't just be healthy for you physically, but it's gonna get you prepared mentally to put in the work you need to do in your business. Also, eat clean, get a healthy diet plan, and stick to it. Weaning yourself off flavor will sharpen your senses and mind. And this will give you the extra edge that you need to put in the long hours in your business. Also, meditate 20 minutes before work every day. Learn to control your emotions. And this is something that I actually do, especially before I have sales meetings with clients, because I'm actually a very emotional person. And I used to let my emotions get in the way of so many things. The long hours of work I needed to put in for my business, for example. And I learned that so many times I let my emotions get in the way of the results and the work I needed to put into my business. So I started meditating every single day so I can learn to control those emotions, so I can put in the work despite how I feel. Now sleep. Sleep at the same time every day and don't waver. And this is key, because in order to get results every single day in our business and push our business to next levels, we have to be laser focused. And laser focused for hours to be able to conquer those big projects. But if you don't have the energy to be laser focused for that amount of hours, then your results are going to suffer. And what you're going to find is energy times focus is what equals results. organization. Keep your office, house, car, desktop clean and organized so your mind can be organized when you get to work. Time management. And this is so important here because most photographers and entrepreneurs who work on their business, they wake up in the day and they're not even sure what to do and what actions to take for their business. So you need to plan your months, your weeks, your days beforehand. Write out your work plan for tomorrow, the night before. Always plan tomorrow today. And that way you're playing to win. You know the day before the actions you're going to take so you can keep hustling to get your business to the next level. Then set those goals. If you're not planning for tomorrow, you're going to be in someone else's plan. Then set goals. Always look at your vision and mission, annual goals, monthly goals, and create a war map to conquer them. Then also gratitude. Always looking to the future can often cause fear, anxiety, and stress. So always practice gratitude daily to balance yourself. So you're not getting stressed about where you want to be in your business. You can be happy about the progress and the place you're at right now, but still be hungry to push forward. And most importantly, relentless persistence, grit. And this is the most important thing to growing your business. You're going to come across a lot of failures. You're going to come across a lot of rejections, mistakes, projects that need to be redone or improved. But stick to your plan daily and never waver despite emotion, drama, failure, or uncertainty. I come across photographers, students, and entrepreneurs who are so easy to give up when a sales call doesn't go very well, who are so easy to give up when they're not getting results as fast as they want. They're jumping onto those next shiny objects. But stick to your plan daily. Never waver, despite how you feel, despite what happened, despite the failures and the rejections that you come by. When you build that grit, that is what's going to take you to a whole new level in your business. Now, obviously, being perfect in each of one of these things is impossible. But the closer we get to those things, the more and more we fill the gap to build the business of our dreams. And what I've found time and time again, when I see the students who get results quickly, there is a night and day difference between their self-discipline and each of these things. And the more time you can put into perfecting these self-disciplines, that is when you'll truly see how you can get the full potential of the tactics and strategies to grow your business.